Good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Sunset Luna Art. I am a stained glass artist, and today we are working on continuing to foil some stained glass lotus moons. Good morning there, Brandy, and thank you for stopping by today. If you had come by yesterday, you would have noticed, you'll see that we started foiling some moons. We have 5 started. We have 4 more to go. I don't normally stream early in the morning, but my husband has an appointment today, so I figured let's give it a shot, see who's around in the morning, and, get some extra work done today. He's still asleep, so I'm an early bird. It's what I do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these pieces here from, this is my ring model moon, because it's made with a ring model glass. And I'm just going to clean the edges of it, make sure there's no marks left from the Sharpies that I used to trace out my pattern. And going to just make sure it's clean so that the foil sticks to it. And then we'll get to foiling it. I've been doing stained glass for 15 years now. Right now I'm working on making this my mostly full-time job. I start next week a part-time job just to help pay the bills, but I'll be working at a candy shop, so how much of a job is that when you're working with candy for a couple hours a day? I'm going to be packing candy boxes, mailing those out, so fun stuff there. But yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. If there's anything you want to know about the process of this, anything about how I learned, any questions you have about learning stained glass. I have commissions open. You can visit my socials. Let me give you that real quick. You can visit that link tree and you can find all my socials where you can check out I do a lot of lurking on a lot of channels too, but thank you for coming over. Thank you. Yeah, they're gonna look amazing when I do the daylight reveal. Hopefully we'll have daylight on Friday and not just rain and clouds. We're supposed to have rain all week. Not untypical for New England, so. But it's just going to be a week. But the only downside is it doesn't really show what these pieces are going to look like with sunlight behind them. But we'll make do. I'll put up a light box if I have to, really show off. Because this ring model glass right here, when you put light behind it, totally transforms this piece. It becomes alive with fire, literally. Like, it lights up, and just absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous piece. I love stained glass. I don't think I'd be doing it for almost 15 years if I didn't. But if you have time, check out our socials. We are open for commissions. I can ship US and Canada easily. I need to look at shipping overseas. I really need to see what that looks like, and just see what, like I said, see what that looks like and really how to ship around that, or not around that, but like dealing with that. And maybe I'll talk to a tax prep person when I go on Thursday and just see what they know, see if they have any advice. That way I can expand my reach. What do you silver? So now that I cleaned that piece, I'm going to take this foil here. It's lined with a silver coating on the back. And I'm just going to take these pieces here and I'm just going to wrap them in it. Because I'm going to use a lead edging on them. I'm not going to go all the way around the piece. I'm just going to go partially around, because if I go all the way around, it will bulk up underneath where the lead goes, and it won't give it a smooth fit. Just make sure the piece is lined up in the center. So what the copper foil does, and this was actually a method done by Lewis Comfort Tiffany, is so we wrap the piece in this thin copper foil, and then we put a flux on it. And the flux is, I use a paste, it could be a liquid or a gel. And what it does is it lets the solder that we use, and I use a tin lead mixture. It's a safer mixture to use. It's also a cheaper mixture to use. And it actually lets the solder stick to it. So it's essentially like a binding agent. So instead of using a bulky lead, so let me show you. This here is what the lead looks like. It's a really, really thick piece. And this is just what's going on the outside edge. So it's a pretty big amount of lead. And this is only 3 pounds. So it's not a lot for what you get. So lead can be really expensive to do, whereas doing the copper foil, it's a cheaper way to do it in a way. It has more steps than a traditional leaded method, sort of. Because you have to make sure you have your copper foil done, and like the flux, and just putting it all together. Lead has its own set of steps. I do the same thing on other streams. It's okay. Sometimes I'll be like, oh yeah, that's so cool. Oh, you can't hear me, can you? At some point I will be doing a leaded piece because I do have the materials for it. I just bought a beautiful new lead knife, and that's used to cut the lead. There's like scissors and nips that you can get, but I decided to go with a traditional knife because I do historical reenactment as well. So I figured I can bring stained glass through historical reenactment, which I intend to do. And I'm like, let's get as many historical based tools as possible. That way, when we go to events, I can bring all my tools with me because we don't bring enough as it is. I'll have my trunk of glass stuff, and I can do demonstrations. I can do all sorts of fun stuff there and have it be very, historical based. I try to take unique ways to approach things, and I think that's why I do glass, is because I've done traditional art, I've done digital art, I do both still. I tell people if I haven't done it, I know how to do it. In college I took, they called it Oriental brush painting. And it was essentially a calligraphy class using the really, you remember the the Chinese and Japanese, the really pretty brush paintings. Essentially it was doing those. I think it was more on the a Chinese designed one, because we did a lot of bamboo, and the teacher really focused on aspects of China when we did it, so it was kind of weird, but welcome to college back in 2004. Yes, I'm that old. But turned out I was actually allergic to the ink that we used. Somehow, I always walked out of that class feeling so sick, and I never understood why. Then I kind of put two and two together, because whenever I would use it at home, I start getting sick. And yeah, somehow I was allergic to the ink we used. Never quite figured out why, or the reason behind it. But so yeah, that was just a very uncomfortable semester. I also sew. I do crafting that way. I can build things. Yeah, like I said, I've done most media and crafts out there. Even back in high school, I was called a jack of all trades because I could never focus on one thing. I just wanted to know how everything worked. Especially when it came to art, I wanted to know all the different media because it was fascinating to me. So after I wrap each piece with copper foil, I use this handy little tool. I have a plastic one, but you can get wood ones, and it's called a fid. And this is what we use to burnish or press down the foil. And that just takes any of the bumps from wrapping it and makes them smooth. And that just creates a good finish and makes the solder stick better and will create a good long-term seal to it. Yeah, even in high school, I did all the art classes. Oh, it is such a pleasing look. Like, it is just like it can go from wrinkled to like so smooth, and it's like, yes. It's really hard to like, capture that, like just that smoothing um, look of it, but it's beautiful. It's keep getting caught on my other foil. Because foil comes in essentially 3 different colored linings. We have silverback, blackback, and then straight copper. This is a cool piece. So this is the front of the piece of glass. Really neat, kind of yellowy amber, the ring model. This is the back of it. How fancy is that? Like, look at that splotch of red. Like, that is such a bright red. And those white marks. Like, how cool is that? That is so cool looking. That is the magic, because glass in sheets is actually rolled out from globs. So, I've yet to actually watch glass be made in person, but I've watched videos of it. And what they do is they take these long poles with glass on the ends of them, and it's hot molten glass, and they'll take it and they'll throw it on these massive rolling machines. Think like a pasta roller, but ginormous. And they'll just kind of throw it on there, and like most of them have like a specific pattern that they know how to do and that they use for each one. Well, they'll just kind of, slab it on there, let it go, and it rolls out into a huge sheet. Like, some of them are like a good 5-6 feet long. And because of that, you get this look that you want on one side, but the back of the glass will sometimes come out with these really, really interesting patterns like this. Just the way it rolls through the machine and the way the colors just mix together. It's so neat. It's so fascinating. It really is. It's a magic process. Like, I'm pretty sure they're wizards. Like, seriously. Like, just the way that they... Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, no, like, and that's the thing, is like a lot of people don't realize the process that goes behind stuff like this, and that's actually one of the things that makes stained glass as expensive as it is. Like, if you look at some of like the stained glass artists, like, some people will be like, wow, your prices are really expensive, and I'm like, yeah, but when it costs me, $20 for a sheet that's like a square foot, you gotta compensate somewhere. And that's the thing, is like glass that's made with, or glasses that come in pinks and reds, are going to be the more expensive glass because of the chemical oxides needed for that chemical reaction to create those colors. They're just more expensive, so they create, more expensive glass sheets. But, and then there are colors like blues and greens, which I have millions of, because they're cheap. They're cheap to make, and So people will buy tons of blues and greens because it's affordable. And that's even just for basic glass, not including like your ring models. Yeah, blues and greens are so relaxing. I also like the ambers, which are really nice because it's not quite a yellow and it's not quite a brown. It's just that really, it's a warm gold in a way, but it still lets a lot of light through without it being like too much. So I do tend to do a lot of blue moons, green moons. Moons are my specialty, especially up in this area where I'm from. We're about 2 hours from Salem, Massachusetts. So we have a very high concentration of people that are very much into or like enthralled with like witchcraft and all that stuff. And especially around like Halloween time, they're like, we want everything. So I tend to make that. We're hoping to start getting our items down towards Salem this year, if possible. I think that would be fantastic for business if I can. Just to, start expanding more. I have an opportunity for a Ren Fair in June. And I want to do it so bad, but I don't know if I can afford the almost $250 for the vendor fee. So I really need to think on that. But like, commissions are open, and we have a Ko-fi, so people can feel free to donate to that. We're just really trying to get stained glass out there is what we're doing. I love doing events. I do. I actually have a craft fair this weekend at a holistic and metaphysical shop I'm really excited about. They're actually selling my items there, so that's really cool. And they are like, hey, we're gonna have an open house. Do you want to come and have a vendor table? And I'm like, well, yes, I do now. So I'm really excited for that. That'll be a really good opportunity, meet some of their customer base. Thank you. Yeah, no, it's going to be fantastic. And then the weekend after that, I have another craft fair at St. Joseph's Church, which will be fun. I have such a wide variety of events that I do, from churches to holistic shops to Renaissance festivals. I did a Veterans Hall back in March, which really started off everything right now. Seriously, it did. So many opportunities from that. So we've been working a lot. And I figured if I'm sitting in my studio doing this every day for several hours, I might as well share it with everyone on Twitch, because it's a fun, different media that's out there. Um, it's one that not a lot of people, like, they know of stained glass, but usually their first thought is church windows. Um, and while I do some windows, I also do a lot of sun catchers, as you can see. Like, moons are my jam. Oh, yeah, and I absolutely love the fact that one little thing can have such a huge impact like this. And we're keeping it running. We really are. I did have to find a part-time job to help pay the bills a little more, just because a stained glass studio doesn't always pay the bills up front, especially when you have, rent fares aren't cheap. Art shows aren't super cheap at all. They really aren't. So, I have a lot of commission spots open. Yeah, candy jobs are going to be sweet. I'm looking forward to it. I really am. It's something I haven't done before. And I've had a fair amount of jobs throughout my life. The only thing that comes close is the job I had as an ice cream scoop girl at a family fun center and go-kart track. So that was kind of out of high school. I was still in college during that time. Alright, that one's done. We'll pin that in a little bit so we can keep moving on to the rest of our stuff. Just sprayed my rag with a little more quick clean. And that's just it's just a cleaner for glass. It normally comes in a really big bottle, so I just use a smaller one so I can see how much I go through on a regular basis. Because it's always good to know, like, to keep track of how much you're going through, what you're using, all that kind of stuff. Gotta keep inventory. Always keep an inventory. Even though I'm not very good at keeping inventory, I'm like, well, I know I need more of that, even if I don't write it down. Oh, yes, watercolor is so much more affordable than stained glass. It really is. Like, my watercolor supplies I bought 4 years ago, and, like, I still have them. And I don't use them as much as I used to, because this just takes up most of my time. Like, if I'm doing an outside event, and this is before I started really getting into lead work, I would bring my watercolors as my backup projects. So I would do watercolor stuff while I was outside, kind of showing that I was more than just like a glass artist. But I also did a lot of illustrations a couple years ago, kind of testing the water of where the glass was going. Being more of a classically trained artist, I wasn't sure of myself like with the glass. But no, I'm definitely more sure of myself now than I have been in quite a long time. I did a shopping trip back in March to a glass shop, and between my mother and I, because my mother went with me, we spent well over $200 on glass. I mean, it was fantastic. I love going glass shopping. Like, glass shopping, like, if you say, hey, want to go shopping? You want to go glass shopping? Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. It is such a fun trip. I love glass shops so much. There's not as many around me as there had been. But yeah, no, it's such a fun trip to go to glass shops. They have so much stuff. There's so much glass they have, and all the colors. Let me try something, because the music always skips out right there. And no, that didn't work. Okay. My dream work, always glass. Always, always, always. So there's a series of pieces that I've been drawing, and I want to do them in glass at some point. But that would require a lot of glass, because these pieces are going to be huge. Like, okay, I say huge, compared to my sun catcher's big. Like a good 3 feet tall at least. And it's just, right now I have 3 or 4 pieces, and it's definitely out of my wheelhouse, because they're kind of religious in nature, and it's not something I usually do. So it would be a very challenging project for me, because it would challenge myself of what I feel and know, and how I've been growing as a person in the past couple years. So, like, it would also be, like, a huge, like, growth thing for me personally. But that really is my dream project, to complete them. It would also be a dream project to jury into the League of New Hampshire Craftsmen, which I can do it. I know I can do it. Like, I could kind of do it maybe in my sleep. I don't know. I would have to work at it. I know this. Like, I have to just have top-notch pieces when I do it. It just requires me to make stuff, like, specifically for it. So League of New Hampshire Craftsmen entails having, I think I would need approximately 10 pieces, which we look at my bench and I'm like, I have 9 pieces right here, but they do have to be different from each other. So there's that. So I would want to make 9 different pieces, and I would want to make more than just sun catchers, because I can do more than just sun catchers. So I really would need to showcase my abilities throughout the stained glass media. So I would need to do some panels. I do make jewelry as well. So I would need to showcase some of my jewelry work that I can do, because it's something that I've started doing. It's something that I can do. So I need to just showcase everything that I can do in these 10 pieces. And then I have to bring it in front of a panel, which in high school we had to do that for what was it? There was a bunch of scholarships and stuff we had to do. So I had to just, scholarship days, it was, hey, get your portfolio, let's go. I also had to do a portfolio for college. So I've done portfolio talks. Usually they had been more than just glass for me in the past. This time it would be all glass pieces. But it's also talking about myself and my pieces. And I don't always like talking about myself sometimes in front of people. Like in person. Online, totally different story for some reason. Though if it's a Zoom meeting, hey, I got this nailed, right? I think part of that goes with my social anxiety. I feel less social anxiety when I'm online because I can't see faces. So, yeah, I don't know. Anyway, so it's just making the pieces really is the only thing right now that's stopping me from doing that this year. I once went for my evaluation and they're like, how do you function? And I'm like, because I'm an adult and I have to function? I'm like, is that the right answer? Because that's the answer I'm giving you. And they just kind of like stared at me like, you're functioning on what kind of level of social anxiety? And I'm like, eh. Yeah, no, they had concerns for me actually. I'm like, oh, I didn't know I should be so concerned for myself. But apparently I should be. I don't know. I just like making things. Right. But it was a social worker, like, helping me find a therapist and all that. But they were also very concerned, like, you get up in front of people, and apparently, like, I actually have, like, pretty significant social anxiety. But yet, I'm an extrovert. How does this happen? I don't know. I run a business. I I do things. I don't know. I'm like, eh. I have to do things, I guess. I don't know. But, you function when you have to function, and then you cry about it later. That's what I do, at least. It works. At least, it works for me. Um, Right? Yeah. No, that's pretty much it. I'm like, I can panic about this later. Just get me through it, and I'll be fine. Um, so I have like a bunch of pieces like thought of for League of New Hampshire Craftsmen. Um, it's just finding time to make them all now because I have so many, so many events coming up. Um, I have Art Walk at the beginning of June, which is going to be awesome. So it's a little over a week. I think it's 4, 7. It's 10 days of. Um, so I get my art put into one of our downtown stores, and people can look, they can purchase the art, um, they can commission the artwork. Like, it's fun thing. It's fun times. Our town makes a really big deal about it, which is it's nice. Like they will we're having a food truck festival this year. They're closing off a chunk of the main street for this. Um like they're going to have food trucks, they're going to have a food festival. I think they're having a chili pepper eating competition. Like they're going all out. We don't go small for stuff like this. Um, our town is very community driven, which is it's nice to see. And this was even all before like the pandemic of last year. Like our town has always been all about community and helping all the businesses and sticking together and all that. Um, so it's a nice feeling to have that much community effort put into this. Um, I will know Saturday which storefront I'm going to be in. Um, I will most likely be in the same store I was last year, so that will actually be the candy store I'm working in. So that's amazing fun right there. Um, and I've been there for, if I'm in there again, this will be my 3rd year running in that store. So that's cool. It's so like our town is so cozy. We in the end of July have Wizarding Week. Yeah, for Harry Potter's birthday, we do a Wizarding Week. We started it last year, and it was amazing. It went so well, and like we hit papers like down in Boston, which is a good 2 hours away from us. Like we made their papers. It was so cool. Um, so we're doing it again this year. Um, I actually made stained glass for it last year. Sold out of everything. It was one of my best events. Actually, it was one of my only events I did last year. But it was amazing. That's that was what kept me going last year. Um, so that was fantastic. So fantastic. The fact that we're doing it again this year and it's going to be bigger and better is just freaking amazing. Um, they're looking at getting banners donated and the house colors to go down Main Street. Like, oh yeah, we're going all out. Our town is just fantastic. Um, we used to have a pumpkin festival down Main Street until some college kids ruined that one. By, well, it wasn't exactly the college kids, but there was a riot on the campus, and well, that kind of put an end to that. Yeah, that was a day. It's always a day when you have to call out the bear cat. Luckily, no one was hurt. I mean, aside from all the damages to cars and stuff like that, but it it was indeed a thing. Um, and you can actually look up Pumpkin Festival riot, and I believe we come up. So that's mildly embarrassing. Um, all of the townies are like, we just kind of shake our heads and pretend it doesn't exist, but we all know it does, and we're all embarrassed for ourselves. Hold on 1 second. All right. There was a squirrel on my bird feeder. Again, I'm going to have to get more chili powder. Or maybe something maybe I'll see if I can find a ghost pepper powder. That'll keep the little buggers off my bird feeder. Yeah, no. The Harry Potter week is so much fun. All the stores take part. They all have like themes. We have a shop that's actually going to be running like what they're calling magic classes this year. And I was told by the person who's running it that the Harry Potter event is actually what kept a bunch of stores afloat last year. So, we're all of us are looking forward to it. The different restaurants make themed foods from like the movies, from the books. Like, yeah, no, we all nerd out like hardcore. It's gonna be great. But yeah, no, it's absolutely fantastic. It's fun. And then Labor Day weekend. That's the one in September. I'll be doing Art in the Park, which is a weekend long art exhibit in our Arboretum Park. It's a fancy park name, well, park term, because it's apparently a fancy park. So I'll be doing that with all my glass work. I did that 2 years ago. And it was fun. It was nice back then. Downside was I sold 5 greeting cards for a whopping $25. And that was the only thing I sold that weekend, after paying $100 for my booth fee. So, I'm hopeful this year, after paying $100 for my booth fee, that I can hopefully sell more than $25. So we'll see, because that was a bit of a money sink and a little disheartening, but it is what it is. It was a really good learning experience. I got to network, which I always appreciate networking. I really do. Building a new audience, meeting new friends. And it's not so much like making money, though it's like it's at least covering my costs is what I like to try and be able to do. Um, and with stained glass, there are a lot of costs to cover. Um, Between packaging materials, which I need to buy more of today, because I'm out of mailers. I actually pack all of my things in bubble mailers because they're small, they're light, they're just, they self seal, fantastic. Um, but, you know, I have to transport everything. Um, a couple years ago, we have a store called Payless Shoes, and they went out of business. And I managed to get a lot of my supplies there so cheap, and it was fantastic. Thank you so much, and Brandy, I hope your work meeting goes absolutely fantastic, and always smile. Even when it feels like things are not going your way, always smile. It gives them a scare. And it always shows that you know what you're talking about, even when you don't. Trust me, it's how I get through life, is you give a smile. And thank you so much for coming by. It's always nice to have people stop by so I can talk to and, you know, just chat about glass, chat about life, all that fun stuff. So hopefully this week we'll have audio fixed for everybody. We did realize that yesterday there was an update for OBS, so that has probably um, come into effect for some of our glitch work that we had yesterday. So hopefully we are able to work through all these. Well, we will work through all of them. It's what we do. That was my pins. All my safety pins on the floor. No, not on the floor, but on the workbench. They have jumped. They have jumped. Oh, goodness. Oh, goodness. Trying to reach for my little trimmer tool. And my... Oh, goodness. Oh, goodness. We have a piece that just does not want to cooperate right now. There we go. One nice thing about foil being as soft as it is you can manipulate it around, and it actually kind of does what you want it to do. So, it's cooperative to a point. Oh goodness, why all the messengers? Okay, nobody important. Husband is still asleep, so we're still working. He probably won't wake up for another hour. Or at least I won't wake him up for another hour or so. He is not a morning person like I am. And that's okay. We work well off each other. He's my tech guy. I'm his art girl. We're just fun people. All right. So this is the pink and plum moon all done. I know it's actually really hard to see, but the darker glass on this one is actually a really deep plum color. This one's going to be absolutely stunning when we put light behind it. I'm just going to adjust where you sit because you are on two boards at once and we don't want that. We really don't. Because that will make for an uneven solder. Okay, you're off. All right. Yeah, if it's sitting on two boards at once, it's going to create an unevenness to it. Even if it's like, it looks flat, it's going to be slightly off just the way my two boards go. So I just wanted to make sure that everybody is as flat as can be here. And yeah, we look pretty good. All right. So we'll have everybody pinned down later. But for now, I have a few more moons that need the foiling treatment. So let's get these bad boys up and going. Nice. Oh, you fit right here. Yes. Perfect. Perfect, perfect. Okay. So we only have two more moons to foil, and then we have our little magic windows. Because that is our goal, to get these ready for this weekend. And we're gonna spray our rag once more. And we will get our blue and clear window going. And I'll pin all these in later just because my hands are actually killing me from push pins yesterday. Plus, I think I don't want to solder on this board here. So I'm actually going to just not push pin onto that one. So these ones will just be cleaned, foiled, and they'll hang out there. And this one here, this one's going to get the silver. I think actually the rest of these are going to get silver. It's just going to look really nice. Though I am debating the amethyst and opal moon. That one might actually get a copper finish. We'll see. That could look really, really nice in copper. Everybody gets cleaned just because we want to make sure we have our foil stick nice and right. I've seen pieces where the foil doesn't stick and it will just peel off, which is a really awful feeling, because then you have to actually replace the foil, and it means you have to take the whole piece apart. It's a rough time. It really is. But by getting all these pieces done like this, this leaves the ability for tomorrow to spend the day soldering. Plus, I'll have speakers, which will be nice. I don't have to wear my headphones tomorrow. So then I don't have to worry about catching my cord on fire, which actually legitimate fear I've had when soldering. Um, just because I'm like, oh, if my cord gets too close, I could legitimately set that on fire. And that would be a really bad time. I'm like, how do I explain that? I'm like, oh, I need to get a new headset. Why? I set mine on fire with a soldering iron. Yeah, that just doesn't sound great, does it? I'm not going to be too worried about getting this piece put in its correct order right away. I just really want to make sure I get everything foiled um, so that once I get these 7 moons done, I can put these ones right over on the bench and it'll be just an easy switch over. That's going to be the goal. I can at least, my goal is to at least tack solder these and then move these over. And tack soldering is just putting solder on the, where the different corners meet on the stained glass pieces. So where the corners of the petals are, and then a little bit on the edges of it. And that's just to kind of hold it together so it can be moved around the board easier. I can unpin everything. And I'll be able to put everything back on the, like, all the pieces on the bench at once. I can stack these and they're not going to fall apart on me. And then we will, husband and I will stretch out the lead that we will measure and stretch out the lead we need. And yeah, we'll be set, ready to go. And I'll tack all those on and put the hangers on. Put all the different little trees of life or dangly bits, whichever these are getting. Because the Van Gogh moon is getting a bird skull to it because it feels very, I don't know, feeling very Edgar Allan Poe-esque. And that was me chasing away a squirrel because it's in my feeder again. Apparently the rain has washed away all of my squirrel traps. So I'm going to have to figure out harmless squirrel traps again. But yeah, so we're making great progress on these. These will be done today, which makes me happy. Because I wanted to go out, do some errands this afternoon after my husband's appointment. And I wasn't sure if I was actually going to be able to stream today, but I figure I'm up early. I might as well, right? We're meeting some new friends that we haven't met yet because of being up early. So that's pretty cool. Maybe starting next week, I will be working early morning, part-time at a candy shop. So I won't be able to do morning streams, but I can probably do some weekend stuff then when I don't have events. Most of my events are weekends. I have a few coming up that will be weekday events. They're pretty far and few between. But the Harry Potter event coming up in July will be a weekday event, because it starts on, I think it starts on a Tuesday and runs through until Saturday. So that's just it's gonna be a long week of like double part-time shifts, but we're just gonna pull this foil off because I don't like how that looked. And I do that, like, before I burnish, like if I can catch it before I burnish it, I am able to pull off foil easily. I don't like doing that, but it was one of those things where I didn't want to double foil that. And sometimes foil just slides, doesn't want to go where I put it, but there we go. That's what I'm looking for. That was exactly what I was looking for there. Nice, smooth, even foil. And down the other side. Yeah, so once the foil's on, burnish the edge. I always go the edges first, because I found that if you do a side first, before you do like the sides like this, before you do an edge, like the edge, it might pop off, and that just is not a good time. So I do edge and then the fronts and the backs. Some of this is also just muscle memory for doing this so long. You know, maybe one of these days I will bring out the table foiler again. See if it is any faster. But I don't know. I do like my method of hand foiling, even though it does kill my fingers so much. It really does. I have minute cuts like you wouldn't believe on the pads of my fingers. I tend to get cut more from the foil, just because it is actually really sharp. But like I said, it is what it is. It's part of the territory of stained glass. And even using a table foiler, you still have to burnish the glass after. It doesn't take out that step. I think I'd actually use it more though if I was doing larger pieces. Because I feel like I do such small pieces right here that it would almost be a time sink to use it. Also, you do have to use scissors when you use a table foiler. You can't just rip the edges like I do. Just of the design of it. So we are about halfway done with moon number 3 for today. So we have one more big moon to go. And then we have all of our little magic windows, which I absolutely love the color palettes of all these. And I'm really excited to be showcasing these this weekend. I do need to go, maybe I'll go to the store today while we're out and see if I can find any more fun charms on sale because I love shopping for fun charms for my little magic windows. And like if anyone has like charms that they love but don't know what to do with, or like old necklaces, um, I can make like you can commission me to make a magic window for like a specific piece, and yeah, we can make something work. That would be actually a lot of fun. I love doing commission pieces. I really do. I also say this as I'm staring at one that I haven't finished yet. But that'll be one actually I'm going to be finishing after next week. I'm going to finish that after next week. Yeah, we'll do that after next week. We'll get that done, finished. Because I have all the pieces cut out, I just need to like, there's a few pieces that needed to be recut on it, so that really took some time away from finishing it. Because I had some pieces break, I was moving my studio around, and then I'm just staring at it, so like, those are things indeed. And like I was looking at it again, and there's actually more pieces I need to recut because they're really bad. But I think I can actually just salvage them and just trim them properly. Because I'm like, what was I even thinking? Did I even know how to glass like 2 years ago? Seriously, what was I doing? Though it'll be nice to get that one finished out of the studio. Um, get that shipped off. Not looking forward to the shipping of that one. We're going to have to make a wooden box for it to ship it properly so it doesn't break. Because it is a panel. So we're going to have to take extra shipping precautions for it. Normally I ship sun catchers, which you just wrap the snot out of them in bubble wrap. And, you know, all is good in the world. But this is a panel, and this is going to require extra security while shipping. Doing a little trim on this piece here. Okay. Perfect. That'll be good. All right, so this is the last piece for the iridescent blue and clear moon. All right, perfect. Yeah, that's good, good, good. All right. Good morning, Lanky. How are you doing today? We have one more of our big lotus moons to clean and foil. And yeah, we're doing some good stuff today. Doing work now, sad. Little monster. Yeah, our cat is hiding. He doesn't quite understand me talking to the computer. So he's like, we're gonna hide now, Mom. Yeah, this is currently the work for me, so this is fun. um, but yeah, so we're just foiling up moons for this weekend's craft fair, getting a bunch of stuff made up for restocking, and now we're gonna plan a shop drop of items for the end of May. It's my goal, at least. So we'll see how that goes. I got a bunch of commission spots open for glasswork. I got some digital spots open. So I buy my glass in sheets that come like this. They're big squares of all different colors. So this is just one of them. This is one of my super shiny ones. And I just buy tons of colors of glass. All different colors, all different, textures, styles, all the fun stuff. Oh yeah, that is one of my fancy shiny ones. It is an iridescent. It's one of my favorites. I haven't used it yet. I haven't wanted to because it is shiny. But I do have plans for that, I think. So, yeah. All my pieces I buy as large sheets like that. And then I cut them into tiny shapes, grind them up so that they're super smooth on the edges. And then I'm doing the step that I'm doing now, which is foiling them so that I can stick all these colors back together. in the most basic of terms. I once had someone go, "So you cut the glass down only to stick it back together?" And I'm like, kind of, yeah, I do. I take glass apart and I stick it back together in a different form. So we're going to finish up with this piece here. How see-through are you? Yeah, we'll use the copper foil on this one. So I use my foil right here. I place the glass centered on the foil and we wrap it around. The reason I check for how see-through a glass is foil comes in 3 different colors of backing. There's silverback, blackback, and copperback. And where I'm considering doing a copper finish on this one, I wanted to make sure that I was using the proper color backing so that if you could see through it, it wouldn't look like out of place. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thanks for definitely stopping by. So I do have, like I said, I do have commissions open. On my shop links, I have a bunch of stuff for sale. I'll be having a bunch more come the end of May. I'm going to spend a lot of May making stuff because I have a bunch of events, but also get stuff up on the shops. Going to be doing some more digital work. I have a bunch of stuff up on Redbubble right now. A lot of digital work. Let me see. Where'd it go? Believe that's it. Yes. So that's where you can find all of our stuff. These are indeed gaming headphones. So let's see, what have I played? I've played WoW. I've played Smite. What else have I played? I play D&D on a regular basis. I've played some Legend of Zelda and various games. I play casual games. I love Stardew Valley. So I played WoW way back in the day. Yeah, I've followed Andy. I've actually made a piece that, not a glass piece, but a digital glass piece that I sent him before. So, like, that was a thing I did because I'm a weirdo. Yep, we met through his raid one day. That's right. And I'm like, what up? Because that's what I do. I'm weird. But yeah, so I do, I used to be, I do a lot more gaming than I do right now. Mainly because business takes a lot of precedence at the moment. Once I'm able to kind of catch up to a relaxed spot, I do want to start gaming some more, hopefully. We'll see. But yeah, I played WoW early on. What did I want to say Curse of Strahd, but I'm pretty sure I'm thinking the wrong thing. And my husband will laugh at me for this one. If he could hear me now, I'm pretty sure he would. Um, here we go. Because I'm pretty sure Curse of Strahd is actually a D&D thing and not WoW, so I'm not sure which one I'm thinking of at the moment. But I do have a decent rig now that can actually play games, unlike my poor old laptop that couldn't even launch the Blizzard launcher. Like, it died on that. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, my husband is a is actually a professional DM. Um and he's getting back into after having some time off for health reasons and is actually getting back into DMing games. Um so that's pretty sweet. I'm super excited. Um he's going to be running some new games and he publishes a bunch of like modules and stuff that, well, he's going to be. They will be published once I finish the artwork for them. Because, being married to an artist, you pretty much get like some awesome stuff. So, and we're just a team on that. Um, Plus, I also get to play in his games when I want to. So, that's always exciting for me. And also because uh, my rig is actually in my studio, I actually work while we play games. And that's okay. Yeah, I have fun doing this. I like so I've always wanted to be a concept artist for a gaming company. So this lets me fulfill that dream right there. Because most of the gaming companies require you to move, and I don't like California. It's too warm for most places, like where they are, and I don't like hurricanes. So, like, yeah, I'm content with this. And I also get to use my own style for his work, so that's nice. I don't have to try and completely revamp everything I've learned to fit a style. Yeah, we're up on the East Coast, way up in New England. The worst thing we get are blizzards, and well, we deal with that. It's not that bad. Um, we joke that we actually do come from the land of ice and snow because we kind of do. But we also come from like mud and pollen and yeah, no. We love New England. But we are looking to move a little further south eventually. Um, just to get a more slightly consistent temperature year round. Um, and that's one nice thing about having my business like this is I can actually work anywhere. And once I get, you know, having a base clientele is really nice because that lets me, um, lets the clientele follow anywhere. Actually, that's one of the reasons I have the Twitch is because it lets me start bringing stained glass out to a wider audience than I normally would. So, I mean, I am now reaching 42 more people than I thought I would. So, we're getting there. Slow and steady. Definitely a slow and steady thing. So, it's definitely, but it's fun. I enjoy it. It's one of these things where I'm working in the studio anyway. So it wasn't that much more to put in a new rig. Like, bring in a rig, set up the cameras, set up a streaming mic, do all that stuff, and just get me ready to go. Um, I'm still learning a lot of the streaming software, but I let my husband kind of take care of that for me because he's like, "You're definitely tech savvy," and I'm like, "Yeah, but you're better at that than I am. It means I just want to make the pretty things, so I let him think about that." Like, it's a lot. I'm like, okay, so I need my bot channel, I need my Streamlabs, I need my what now. I'm like, there's so much. There's just so much. I'm like, so we'll get there. I'm like, we'll make the shiny things, show off the shiny things, and take it from there. See where everything goes, and sell some glass things, get some commissions, share with the world the wonderfulness that is stained glass. Because I'm like, stained glass, I can do this. I've been doing this for 14 years now. So this is all second nature stuff right here for me. My roll has fallen off my little push pins that I've got it set in. Just keeping it on, and yeah, there we go. That's better. Got this moon almost done. So exciting. And we'll be fixing audio much better for next week or next stream. We'll get there. But on next stream, we will be starting the soldering process of all these little things. Well, big things. We're not getting, we'll be doing the small ones next week. So soldering is essentially gluing these together. I use this is what I use here. This is Canefield solder. It's a 60-40 blend of tin and lead. And what I'll do is along the copper foil that I just put on the piece, is I'll take, it's called flux, and I use a paste, and I will essentially paint it on, and then using it's a 100-watt soldering iron, I will run that along each solder line that I have, and it'll hold everything together. I actually don't use gloves. I've been told I should, but I don't. I've been doing this for so long that gloves just... I like to feel what's happening. I'm a very tactile person in that sense. So I like to know what's going on. This is the soldering iron that I'll be using. It's got a decent sized handle, so I'm not really close to it like you would for some of the other types of soldering, like electrical and stuff like that. This does get really warm. This is a 100-watt one. But I will have the fan going so I don't have as much fumes. Good morning, Vanilla. I'm doing well today. How are you? So yeah, we're going to be soldering next. So tomorrow we'll start soldering these up now that we're almost finished. But yeah, and then once we're done with soldering, we'll be cleaning, adding a finish to those that need it. There's only 4 pieces that'll be getting a copper finish on them. Nice. Yeah, thanks for just coming by, chilling out. We're almost done for today. We're getting some pieces finished before my husband's appointment in a little while. So, and then we have errands this afternoon. But yeah, we have all the moons done, so that's exciting. All the pieces I needed are done. I'm going to just re-burnish this piece because I can't remember if I did or not, and that's okay. It doesn't hurt to re-burnish a piece. There we go. There we go. All right. We'll take our silver real quick. I have these little windows that'll get done. So these are just simple pieces of simple strips of glass that I'm doing. These are made with using all Kokomo glass on these windows here. And the fun part about these is these are all done using a sample glass. People buy samples because they want to know like what type of glass is available, all that. I buy sample glass and craft with it. And I will burnish all these at once and trim them all at once. It'll be faster to do that instead of stopping between each piece. That's the fun thing about this particular shape is they're all straight lines, and this is just faster to foil every piece and then burnish and trim. So these pieces are hung at an angle when I do them so that we can fit charms inside. This particular piece here is going to have this little fey type charm inside of it. And I make sure all the different charms will fit inside. If I need to, I use a different type of glass and make a bigger one, or I use the charm inside of a moon instead. But these pieces are great little gifts for people. I know a lot of people will hang them either against a wall, small windows, like in bathrooms, people like to hang them in, just because it's a really tiny piece. So they're neat. People like them. They're different. I'm going to start being I'm going to start offering these as a commissionable piece coming up, where if you have a charm that you would like to put in, I will be offering that. So I'm going to have to figure out how logistics of that would work. I'll have to get a P.O. box. Depending on how much that is, I do know where I can get the, I have several places in town that offer P.O. boxes, not just the post office. There's a little place in town called the Shipping Shack that offers them, which I'll probably go there because that's where I do most of my shipping from. Because they actually ship art and like unusual shipping requests. They're like, so that's a thing. Plus, it's a local town business. They're great people that have it. So yeah, that'll probably be something that we'll think of. Definitely come, we'll look at that in May. It's just one of those things that's not going to be overly high on our priority list at the moment. Just because we do have a lot going on. But commissions are open. Feel free to send a message about those on any of our socials. You can check out our links on our About Us page. You can type in our socials and, see what we have. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram. We have a TikTok. Um, we have a Ko-fi, which we use for, like, if you want to donate. Um, you can uh, get, you know, get commission, order a commission through there. Our current commission that we offer is our mini Lotus Moon. So it's a smaller version of the big one that you see here. Slightly different design, but still the same 2-color concept. So, but yeah, I have those available if anyone's interested. I also do general commissions as well. But yeah, so feel free to check out. Check out that link. That is our link tree that will bring you to all of our social media accounts, including our Redbubble, Etsy, and Store Envy shops. Like I said, any questions, feel free to message. I'm most responsive to Facebook and Instagram messages through Sunset Luna Art. So definitely check those out. And we're just a glass artist working hard at something we're passionate about. We want to bring stained glass to a wider audience. We want to, try and make this, more of a thing. Um, if people are interested in learning how, like, even after watching this, they're like, wow, we still want to learn how to mix stained glass. Like, this is so much fun. We want to learn how to do this. I can teach classes for it. We'll do online classes. I am working on setting up everything for Amazon affiliate so that we can offer packages of items that you'll need for classes. But yeah, so we're almost done for today. I just want to finish up these last few pieces. Because we have 1, 2, 3 more squares left after this one. And this one's almost done. So I have a bunch of different, like, apps to do this. Plus I've done it before, so I can easily do letters and numbers. What are you thinking about? What would you like? and we can probably, well, we can make it happen. Um, I actually just did a commission piece that required a lot of text to it. So, text doesn't scare me to make it. Yeah, that should be totally doable. So, yeah, definitely send us a message on one of our social medias and let's, let me know what you're thinking. Um, and, we'll brainstorm some ideas, think of what you're looking for. Um, if it's something that might not be. Yeah, not a problem at all. That's why I said send me a message. And if it's something that might not be super doable in real glass, we can also do like a digital stained glass piece as well. Um, that is something new that I'm offering. You can check out. I have some of examples on my Facebook under client work of patterns that I've done. But I can do up some really nice pieces into a digital stained glass. So that's just another option of things that I'm offering, especially depending on the piece. If the shipping might not be feasible, I know a digital piece is sometimes easier for people, and just print it wherever you want. But yeah, totally send me a message. Let's we'll chat. We'll see what you're looking at, and yeah, we'll see if we can make things happen for that. I always love a challenge in glass, digital or otherwise. Um, Not a problem. Thanks for thinking of it. Like, seriously. This is kind of one of the things we're trying to do is, like spread awareness of stained glass and what we do. And, um, like, I know like, I see a lot of glass artists on Instagram because it's what I follow. Um, so like, there's a lot of, there's a lot of glass artists out there. There really are. Um, some do this as a hobby, some do this as like just for fun. This for me is essentially a career. I've been doing this for 15 years, and this is something I am definitely passionate about. Um, I can talk for hours about it. We're already 2 hours into today's stream, and I don't think I've actually stopped talking about it once, even when I'm pretty sure I may have had like 0 viewers in. So, like, I will talk to myself about glass. And it's not just because I'm crazy and talk to myself. I actually don't usually talk to myself. But when it comes to glass, I will. Um, yeah, I'm just, small town glass girl trying to make it in, you know, this crazy world that's going on around us. Just I like to make things. I make things by hand. It's what I've always done. And I also like making pretty things. Um, I have a selection of necklaces behind me that are in the process of being finished. I'm going to work on those this weekend, for this weekend. And technically, I'm considered a micro business because it's, for the most part, just me and my husband. Um, and my mother in law makes my trees of life, and that's it. Um, and yeah, this is just what we do. Um, like I was saying, my husband is a professional DM, uh, and we just, you know, just our little family here doing what we do. Um, anything to keep our little business afloat. We're really trying hard to make this, you know, like I said, I've been doing glass for, 14, 15 years. Um, Sunset Luna Art has been a registered business for about 6 or so years now. Um, so we are actually looking to um, just, update our business model a little more this year if we can. We'll probably switch from a doing business as to an LLC at some point. Um, we're just getting bigger. We're not so much bigger, but we're doing more. We're going places. Trying to, at least. Um, but we're having fun while we're doing it, and that's the big thing. Um, we're showing a different media. We're showing a historical medium, while we're using newer techniques. You know, at some point I will be showing some pretty sweet historical techniques, like actual Renaissance techniques for the most part. Um, I don't have a lot of the tools that they used in uh, medieval stained glass making. I can't get my hands on very well, but I can get as close as I can. So that'll be sweet when that happens. But yeah. I'm gonna take a sip of coffee real quick. All right, just two more pieces. Well, one more piece on this one to go. All right, this is looking absolutely beautiful. Since this particular piece has a gold charm, I'm using the copper foil so that if the back shows, it's gonna look nice. Copper and gold will look nice together. It won't look as out of place as it will if I were to use a silver finish on it. And then this last piece here has a gold colored tree of life. So I'm going to use the copper foil as well. My other 4 pieces are all got the silver foil because they all have silver charms. So a silver finish is perfectly fine on those. Alright, only a few more pieces. And then after I finish this this square, we will be ending the stream here for today. My husband is up, so we're going to get ready, get the day going, make sure we have stuff that we need, and we're going to spend some time together. Then we got stuff we have to do this afternoon, so I thank everybody for stopping by today. It's been a super fun morning. I appreciate it. It's fun to do an early morning stream. I don't normally stream this early, so that was a nice change. So, yeah, 2 more pieces here. So I will be back definitely tomorrow. Most likely in the afternoon, and we will start the soldering process of all these lotus moons. I'm going to start with all the ones that are pinned down first, and then once those are done, we will switch out the 2 that are not pinned yet, and then we will get the squares done. And then, yeah, we'll get everybody soldered, and then off camera, we will stretch the edging that we need to, just because I don't know how that's going to go. I've heard stories about it, so that'll be an off-camera experience. All right, last piece for this particular set, and then we are good to go for today. So again, I thank everyone who stopped by. Feel free to check out all our links that we have listed on our page. Commissions, like I said, are open. We're up for anything. On our Ko-fi, we have specifically commissions for our mini lotus moons, which all the details are right there. But if there's something else you're looking for, send me a message and we will work out whatever needs to be worked out and all that fun jazz. But yeah, so we are done for today with foiling, so we're going to end here. Again, thank you all for coming by, and I hope you all have an excellent and amazing, wonderful Wednesday.